Okay, first of all, you're watching this video from someone who owns the SAO Blu-rays, okay? I haven't opened them, but I still enjoyed the first half of season 1 of SAO enough to buy them a long time ago, alright? I'm wearing an Asuna shirt. I even spent way too much money on the greatest Asuna figure released by Good Smile Company. Clearly, I'm someone who supported the series while everyone else was just bandwagon hating from day one. But now, in 2019, we have a serious problem. I mean, we had a lot of problems in Gun Gale. Mainly that I hated Trap Kirito and Sinon replacing Asuna. And Rosario was fine. I mean, Alfheim was not exactly what we wanted either. But now, we have a serious problem. So, I just finished watching all of the last arc of Sword Art Online Alicization, and it was a very difficult journey for me to get to the end of that season. I mean, exposition scene after exposition scene after 20-minute long exposition scene with 1,000-year-old lolly convoluted information dump left me wanting to just blow my brains out. But I did it. I did it all for her. For purple-haired Asuna, for the administrator, for the Pontifex, for the highest minister of the Axion Church or whatever the hell, Quinella. Whatever name you want to call her, I made it to the end so I could watch Prime Sakuga of her with her beautiful body and to listen to her damn good Japanese voice actress who absolutely brought that character to life. I mean, she plays Shinobu from the Monogatari series, so really, what do you expect? But before we go too far, let's recap a little, shall we? SAO has always had the greatest music, mainly Lisa, since her and her guitarist Koke have always been two of my favorite musicians. Even though her non-anime songs and straight older rock music is her best work, that 100% you should go listen to her old albums, Crossing Field is still iconic, and she'll keep cashing in on SAO as long as it stays one of the hypest anime in the world. And I want to say she did the first opening of this new season and maybe the second ending, I think, of Alicization. I don't really remember now. She's done Shirushi in Rosario, I think it was. She's done a lot of SAO music is the point, and they've all been pretty great songs. Also loved the acoustic ending at the end of episode 19, and during Yugioh's final moments, I think it was. You know, it was very emotional, it was great. The OST, very okay. I think the main reason for it just being okay is the timing is always so bad and cringy. Like, there will be no music in a scene at all, and then all of a sudden, the timing, you know, Kirito's heroic theme begins to play to prepare you for him doing something epic. So let's start playing his heroic OST while he runs into the hallway, into the other room, so you know that in that other room, something shocking is gonna happen. We have to spoon feed you not only this ridiculous convoluted story, but also we have to spoon feed you the action scenes. But anyways, back to the beginning. I've always wanted to see Asuna and Kirito in the real world. SAO has always tried to express that these characters exist and can die in the real world, but somehow they're always in a game, and we never get to see them lead, you know, somewhat normal lives. So we get a total of 1 episode in the real world, and then it's just straight back into the game. I'm pretty sure it was only 1 episode. Like, how is Kirito a functioning human? It's just so ridiculous that he's even alive anymore. But instantly, the story begins to make awful decisions. Like, oh, Asuna is the only good character in this entire show? I know, let's take her out of the show and make her useless for 20 episodes, yay! But we have to let you know that she's still alive, so let's take her to a CGI ship in the middle of the ocean while Kirito continues to add other girls to his already massive harem. But this time, it's not just girls. We're adding blonde Kirito to his harem. I know some of you who watch SAO may not consider things like this, and it's not necessarily the worst thing in the world, but I want you to know that Yugioh is 100% blonde Kirito, so they can save money. Their character models are exactly the same. Their hair is the same. All they have to do is color Kirito differently, and then you have Yugioh. It's to save money. Just remember that. And it annoys the hell out of me in shows like Rick and Morty when all of the characters are Ricks, so they don't have to draw new characters anymore. Yeah, it saves money, but it's also uninteresting. By the way, the girls in Japan 100% ship these two characters. Why shouldn't they? I mean, Kirito's girlfriend has been cut from the show by the author, so really who cares anymore? Here's my problem. I don't like to complain about shows that are popular just because they are popular. I always think when people do that, there are 500 trash anime out right now that you could be complaining about, but you're complaining about a decent one because you want attention, and that's it. I don't like to speak negatively because a real Japanese person spent time and effort on this animation, like you should respect that. But I have a reason to look at the negatives of SAO, and that is because those other trash anime that no one speaks about, they have no budget, and the studio is doing the best they can. But here we have SAO given a massive budget for the most convoluted and terrible story that has wasted more potential than any other show that's out right now. Let's begin with Alice. She could have been so badass, like her design, the animation, it was all amazing. But no, Kirito saves her because she's too weak, and then he has a 20-minute exposition scene with her on a cliff that completely just changes her mind about everything. In 20 short minutes, she has completely succumbed to everything Kirito has filled her mind with, proceeding to opening with her having like sweat on her skirt after he saved her while she was, passed out now. That makes her go tsundere and just tell Kirito not to look because she's now a weak girl who's embarrassed for the sake of SAO, putting Kirito in this dominant position over her. Then literally nothing happens for 3 full episodes, all exposition. And then of course, in the next episode, she has to just take care of Kirito right now because Kirito is just the center of everything. Next, she jumps in the final fight to save Kirito, but instead of giving me the only thing in the entire show I want to see, which easily could have happened, she had to save Kirito here, right? Alice versus Quinella. All I wanted to see was 2 badass females fight each other in this series. Nope. Kirito jumps back in front of Alice to save her instead. Literally within 2 seconds of Alice trying to save Kirito, he saves her instead. That was some of the worst writing in a high budget show that I have ever witnessed. Like, tell me you thought that was okay. Alice goes to save Kirito, but no. Kirito's fine within literally 2 seconds. He jumps in to save her instead. Absolutely just no sense, just mind blown, like what is happening? So much potential is wasted. You could have spent all that money on an epic fight between Alice and purple-haired Asuna. I do not know if it's something wrong with the adaptation or Kawahara's story. I am this close to picking up the light novels. If you guys want to read the light novels for yourselves and tell me, because I really don't know if I'm going to, or the manga or any other SAO, global.bookwalker.jp, link in the description, use my code soulani, get $5 off. Any of the SAO stuff, any of the SAO light novels, if you want to read them. I'm so close to just reading them because maybe somehow if I do, it'll all make more sense to me as to why this was a terrible adaptation or the story just wasn't good enough. Then we have Yugioh, blonde-haired Kirito that has been sexually entranced by purple-haired Asuna, which by the way, if you don't think Quinella has the same exact character design as Asuna, both her face and her body, then you really need to check your eyes. Granted, there is some really sick animation. At some points, she looks like Satsuki from Kill la Kill, and it looks really great. It looks really cool. The animation in the show is amazing, but she looks exactly like Asuna, okay? She's apparently changed Yugioh's entire outlook on life by having sex with him in 1 episode. Not even a full episode, it only took a few minutes. And now that Yugioh's completely devoid of personality, he has way more personality than he did in like the last 18 episodes of the show or whatever it was. Because anything for that ass, right, Yugioh? So much potential. You could have spent that budget on Yugioh fighting Alice in the final episodes because you got these 2 new characters. You could have some insane sakuga for Alice's beautiful character design. A shining moment in the series finally for Yugioh. What is done instead? In 1 single episode, the immortal, all-powerful Kirito changes Yugioh back to normal instead. He just changes him back to normal just in the snap of a finger like that in 1 single episode instead of building to it and have Alice be involved in a fight scene to really get him to change back to normal. It's all done in 1 episode. That's all it took, whatever. And instead, instead of that epic fight, we get 2 CGI swords fighting. I'm laughing, but I'm also banging my head against the wall in agony of how horribly written this all is. The animators on SAO must have been dying inside while animating this story. Imagine you're an animator on SAO and the story brought to your desk reads, "Big pile of CG weapons combines together and fights one CG sword," while beautiful purple-haired girl and all of the characters watch as Lolly enters the scene and spends 10 minutes brainstorming a plan while the enemy just stares. For absolutely no reason, purple-haired girl just lets them all discuss the entire story and have an exposition scene instead of attacking them, just so they can get in some more goddamn exposition. Blonde Kirito looks staring at the ceiling in enlightenment and discovers the secret to the world with absolutely no explanation as to why he's staring at the ceiling or why he discovers everything. In an instant, he just knows. Plot progression. But finally, after waiting all this time, I get to see my girl and her epic voice actress fight against Kirito, of course. You know, I wish it was Alice, but it's gotta be Kirito. Quinella could have fought against anyone else and it would have been more interesting because, you know, Kirito never loses. But her arms being cut off, sick. That animation, gorgeous, okay? I give the show that. That's why I'm watching it. This is why I watched SAO. All I wanted was for one great character to get out of this Underworld soul Fluctlight AI virtual reality system soul Underworld nonsense, get into the real world and to start killing people like the psychopath and great villain that she is. Maybe even purple-haired Asuna could fight the other best character in the show, real Asuna, in the outside world. But do you know what happens after Kawahara creates a possibly great character? He has to snap his fingers and cut them out of the show, just like that. She says, "I'm escaping to the real world," or something along those lines as she's being sucked into the sky. My hype levels through the roof. Oh my god, I'm thinking in that last episode, Kawahara is actually gonna write something decent. Let's go. The clown blows her up before she gets out. I'm assuming. Wow, what a surprise. Could you have killed the hype for that character any more than that? I mean, I'm in shock when she says, "I'm gonna get into the real world." Like, oh, finally, something cool is happening. What a massive, massive disappointment. More than anything else that had happened in the show that far. That was the biggest disappointment. I mean, we aren't sure that she's dead, but I would say she's probably not gonna be wreaking havoc in the real world according to what I've seen in the new opening and so far in this new season. Of course, Kirito is also too pure to have killed her, so Clown Freak had to do it instead. Oh, jeez.